Hey everyone, Teresa with Chicago Title. I just am so excited for today's episode of TTalks. So TTalks is title, tools, technology, and talent. And today's show oozes talent because this woman is one of the most talented people that I know.
Stop.
So Michelle Beisner, talented journalist, reporter, dancer, mom, wife, friend, daughter, all of it. She gives her all to every single thing she does in life. And she's got a great message. So I just wanted to have Michelle on, and thank you for coming on with me today to my little Facebook Live show.
Of course, I'm happy to be here. You caught me like fresh out of my Peloton ride with Corey Rigsby, who I love. Cody Rigsby.
You know, that was one of my questions, but later. But I was like, okay, what's your favorite workout, Michelle?
Well, there you go. I mean, look, there's not much we can do right now. I love to go to a yoga class or a dance class, but I'm obsessed with my Peloton bike. My husband got it for me for my anniversary. I did not think, I had the opposite reaction to the girl in the commercial, or to everyone's reaction about the girl getting a Peloton for Christmas, that the husband was sending some message that she needed to lose weight. I just really wanted a Peloton, and I was so excited when he got it for me because I love SoulCycle. That's probably my favorite workout is SoulCycle, but obviously we can't do that right now. So I get on, and I just finished up a 45-minute intervals and arms ride with Cody Rigsby, and he actually, Teresa, he's got a pretty killer dance cardio class with Emma Lovewell.
I've taken that one. I took that one. It's awesome. Yeah,
it's
the combination's super fun. I know.
It's fun.
We're all doing routine online. Yep, to just stay in shape.
Yeah, and I weight train. You know, our trainer is so great, and he sends us new workouts for the week, so that's good. I mean, thank God. I mean, we're lucky, but we've got some equipment downstairs in our basement, so we have this makeshift gym that we can use, and so we have no excuse. We can't sit on our ass and say, well, I can't get to the gym, so I'll just eat another bonbon. No. We have equipment. We have a bike. We have a treadmill. Get your ass down there and work out. So that's what we do.
You know, discipline is what Michelle has always been about, and that is what I attribute so much of her success to. Michelle, when you were a young girl growing up, what did you dream of being, and are you living your dream right now?
Yes and no. I mean, I always knew. I mean, I was a dancer from the time I was 3, and I knew that I wanted to perform. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to somehow entertain. I also had this extreme interest and passion for people at a very young age. I wanted to know people's stories. I wanted to understand why they were the way they were, where they came from, etc. And so, yes, I do think that I am living my dream to the extent that I am the Monday Night Football reporter for ESPN, which is awesome, and I love that. And I got to be a Denver Broncos cheerleader for 6 years, so I was able to perform. I was a professional dancer and able to perform in front of 75,000 screaming fans. So, yeah, I mean, a part of me, though, I always wanted to be a Broadway actress, and I don't know, maybe I'll get to be Roxy Hart one day on Broadway. That I can still dream, right?
You can. You've got many years left.
That's right. I'm going to turn, 33 in October, so I have lots of time.
Yeah, and I'm just a little bit ahead of you at 35.
I know. Right, exactly. I mean, we look good.
We got plenty.
That's right.
Oh, so when you, like you said, how I know you, our relationship is 20 years old. So yeah, we were childhood friends, but Denver Broncos cheerleaders. And you started out, you were one of our captains for many years, Pro Bowl representative, and then you started grabbing that microphone and doing some sidelines for some of the different sports teams in town. So what was your first job where you actually got paid with a microphone in your hand?
Oh, well, I think I think it was so I was the entertainment MC at the Pepsi Center for the Denver Nuggets, the Colorado Avalanche. We did some of those games, and the Colorado Mammoth. So I was the chick with a microphone in my hand during timeouts, like running a 3-point pop a shot kind of, or a half court shot contest. And that was probably, I was at the Pepsi Center for every single game, for the NBA season, for part of the NHL season, and for all of the indoor lacrosse season. And I think that I got paid, I don't know, $100 a night, which then was really good, like great.
Right?
So that was kind of the first gig where I had a microphone in my hand and I got paid.
So, we talk about the Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours to master something. So do you think that all went into your processes to get you where you are today?
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. Every little thing that I did went into it. And I think that a lot of people, I get a lot of questions about, well, what's the best advice that you have for somebody that wants to go into sports journalism or wants to do what I do in some capacity. It's just take advantage of every opportunity, because you will learn something from it. So whether I was doing the entertainment emceeing at the Pepsi Center, or I fell into some of the gigs that I did. I remember I was reporting for Smash Car on the Speed Channel, and this was literally, and it was these kind of made from scratch cars out of just junkyard parts, and these men that were literally drinking beer behind the wheel were racing around this dirt track. And I had to interview the winner of this race, and he's like pounding a Schlitz at the finish line. And it would just, but you learn something from every little gig that you do. And, so from that to the local reporting that I did for Fox Sports Net Rocky Mountain Region, the feature stories that I did, to I was a pit reporter for the Champ Car World Series, which is open wheel racing, which I never thought I would do. And then, finally I kind of landed where I always wanted to be, which was on the sidelines for the NFL, which is where I've been since 2006.
All right. I'm going to share a little picture. I hope this works on here. I'm like my own little producer, my own little recording, or my own little broadcast studio. But there we go. Michelle, can you see that?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
This was this past Super Bowl in Miami.
Uh-huh.
I had a feature that aired on our countdown show, our pre-Super Bowl countdown show. And that was my live action shot from my Super Bowl, if you will. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
I love that picture of you.
Oh, thanks, T.
I'm going to go back just a little further. There we go.
Oh, hey now.
Yeah.
I wonder what year that was. What year do we think that was? You were obviously the director, but that had to be, I feel like my hair was a little bit, how shall I say? It wasn't so, I could get through a door with that hair. A lot of the other pictures, my hair was like the curls and the spray and it was big Dallas hair, and it was tough to get through the door. This was probably closer to the end of my bye babe, Joe's leaving to go do something. Bye. That was probably like year 5, I'm guessing. Year 4, somewhere in there.
Well, it was before the uniform change. So it had to be, I would say 90, 98, maybe.
No. Yeah, 90. But didn't we have these uniforms when I was the Pro Bowl representative in 99? We still had these.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was maybe 2000 then? I don't feel like, I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. It all blends together. It was right around then.
We're aging
and
ourselves.
I was 15 years old.
Exactly. We had 15-year-old cheerleaders. There we go.
Yes. Just me. I was very, very good.
Okay. So I want to talk about, you. So, we all have our personal brands, and you definitely have developed yours. And I look at you as a woman. You definitely work for ESPN, but you have your own contract, you have your own brand, you are out on social media. How do you manage that? Like, what's your theory on how? What's your philosophy on it?
Well, first of all, I think that's really great to hear that you think I have a brand, because I don't know that I do. I think that I've always been pretty clear about my intentions, and that I do think that women can have it all. This is air quotes, have it all. I can't stand that women can't have a career, they can't have a family, they can't have a marriage, they can't have a social life, they can't have other interests and hobbies. I mean, I think that for me, I've always tried to represent myself, and this is definitely something that I really learned, and it was ingrained in my brain when I was with the Broncos. I mean, you don't just represent yourself, you represent something so much bigger. So when I was with the Broncos, I mean, you're representing Pat Bowlen and the Denver Broncos and the city of Denver. And you have to, I mean, trust me, I made plenty of silly mistakes as a young girl in my 20s, but you have to hold yourself to a higher standard and in higher regard. So I've always tried to do things the right way. I've always worked really hard. I've always preached that with hard work, you will reap the reward, but it may not come as quickly as you want. So you have to be very patient. There are a lot of people that I know that have maybe not taken the most ethical or the most morally compass pointing straight kind of way to get where they need to be. And that's okay. But, my climb has always been slow and steady. And so when you say, what's my brand? I mean, I don't know. What is my brand? I mean, I think that I work hard, and I play nice, and I really try to treat people with respect, and I really try to embrace people and their goodness, because I do think that we all have that. I've always kind of lived by this saying, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. I think there are a lot of entitled people in this world and I just don't, I just think that's bullshit. I think that we should just all be nice to each other, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. I mean, we all have a story to share, and we're all just trying to make it. So, yeah, my brand is ever evolving, though. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm giving you a good segue into your next question, T, because who knows with coronavirus, with COVID-19, what's going to happen with my career, my job next season. I may not have a job. I may not. So I better figure something else out. I better transition into another project. I better figure out a different platform so I can continue to tell my stories and reach people, and have a platform to give other people a voice, because this is real. This is scary. I mean, there could be football, but we may not have fans, and there will be a pregame show, but I don't know, do they need features for their pregame show? It's kind of like going to the dealership to buying a Lexus when you need a Yugo to get to where you need to go. Like, you don't need a feature. I mean, you do, but you know what I'm saying? So it's scary. Yeah. So my brand is ever evolving.
When this first came, Frank Sapovitz with the NFL wrote a book, like What to Do When Things Go Wrong. And I follow him on LinkedIn. And I mean, he ran every Super Bowl for, 25, 30 years. So he has a million stories. But I follow him on LinkedIn. And when COVID first started, he was like, good possibility we might play football and other sports with no people in the stands. And I went, oh, what? No way.
Right.
And still in my heart, I believe that. I'm like, please don't I know I better see you on the field at the Raiders Stadium next year. That's all.
I know. I mean, America needs sports. The world needs sports. We need it. And you realize what a joy it is, and how much sports really does bring people together. And I cannot imagine an NFL game without fans in the stands. It crushes me. However, if that's how it has to be, that's how it has to be. I mean, there are much bigger things to think about in the grand scheme of things. So if that's how it has to be for a season, then so be it. But I mean, of course, I'm hoping and praying that between now and September, I think that we have smart people, scientists that are behind this, that, I just hope and pray, and I'm riding on faith that we will see fans in the stands.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I had a couple of questions for you. So let's segue in. Like, I love your features because they really dig deep and they touch people in different ways. And you find out things about the players and you go search down a story and you get them to talk to you. And two questions. What has been your favorite story to cover, and what's been the most emotional story that you've covered?
Well, okay. So I was at NFL Network from 2006 to 2013. And I was a general field reporter. I was all over the place, mostly doing daily reports covering the NFC West, AFC West. When I made the switch over to ESPN, I have strictly done features for Sunday Night Countdown or Sunday Countdown. And then I moved over to Monday night. And I've been doing the features for Monday Night Countdown for 4 years. And I I've done so many. I can tell you, just when you brought this up, some features that came to mind. Leah and Devin Still. I did the story. I first sat with Devin Still, who was a former defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals, and we were the first network to sit with him when he had just found out that his daughter Leah Still was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma, which is a rare pediatric cancer, and he was so just raw and real. And, that name, I'm sure a lot of people know by now, because they have done so much on the pediatric cancer front, and they have come so far and raised so much money. And she has become this hero for so many young people that are dealing with cancer or any sort of illness. She's right there at the front lines and battles with them. And Devin has turned it into his passion and his career now. He's since retired from the NFL. That one will always stay with me, because we not only did our first feature, but we did 2 follow-up stories, and I have become very close with them. Devin got married and I was at his wedding. I often talk to Leah. She's very dear to my heart. So that one means a lot to me. I did a story on Marty Schottenheimer a couple of years ago, him and his wife, Pat. Marty is kind of in the crux of Alzheimer's, and we sat with him when I think that they were first really bringing to light his diagnosis. And it was Pat, his wife, was there the whole time and really guided him through the interview, because there were moments where he was really on track and following the conversation and the lining of, and the directions of the questions. And we talk about football, and then and then his memory, and then he would just lose it a bit, and she'd have to bring him back. And it was maybe the most challenging interview that I've done, because you have to adjust in ways that you can't prepare for. I mean, I over prepare when I go in for any interview. I have 5 pages of questions. I have, 20 pages of research. I've talked to people on the phone. I mean, I really take this seriously. I don't just go in, ask questions, and leave. I care about the people that I sit with. I want to get it right. And I appreciate that they're willing to open up to me. So I do take it very seriously. But it was an interesting navigation for me to try to understand where to go with him and when to pull back, and just let Pat really is the one that guided this whole thing. And I was just there to let him tell me whatever, to make him feel comfortable. That one was really powerful. And last season I did one more that really touched me. This was definitely the most emotional I think that I've gotten in an interview, where I was crying through the whole thing. Well, not the whole thing, but I sat with Solomon Thomas, who his sister took her life, and we sat with her with him. He plays for the 49ers, and we sat with his parents, and that was so raw. And it was the first time they had talked about it, and it was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking in every single way. So no, but we've done some really fun pieces too. There have been some really great things that we've done that have been really lighthearted. And, we've also done just kind of some really good convo pieces. I sat with the head coach of the Vikings, Mike Zimmer, and we had a great convo about football. I mean, so we kind of have a lot that we do, but it's those pieces that really touch you, that really peel back 5, 6, 7 layers. The one that we did, on Mr. Bolin, we did this tribute piece on Mr. Bolin, and we sat with John Elway and Joe Ellis and Greek, the trainer, and Gary Kubiak. And that was very emotional, to hear people talk about Mr. B and how much he meant at that point in time. He was alive, but he was obviously battling the advanced stages of Alzheimer's. And it was just, it's tough. It's always, it's rewarding and gratifying when someone will sit with you and be open enough to really be honest about what they're going through.
Well, your work and what you do and how you connect with people, I mean, the Broncos would not have let you do that story if they didn't trust you to do it the right way. And, at a very hard time for everyone involved. So, that is something that I have admired about you. I mean, you are on my list of women who inspire, and it's the connections that you make with the people that you interview, the people you work with, your friends. I mean, the deep friendships that you have. You're a special woman, and you are always, special woman on this planet. So, okay. So
thanks,
I'm going to talk about your kids real quick. I've got right here. There we go. Those twin boys. Yeah.
That was their first, that was when they turned 1. That was their 1-year birthday. And they just turned 2 on Sunday. Do you have a picture?
I don't have the 2-year-old picture. I've got one more picture. This one is this one.
That is, what do those little shirts say? Is that their 10-month? I think that's their 10-month picture. Yeah. So. They're so sweet. So that little guy, little nuggets. So my little smiling boy, that's Wyatt with the brown hair, and my blonde little serious face there, that's Blake. And it is just crazy to look at that picture because that was 10 months and they just turned 2 on April 26th. And man, they are just something. They are so funny and so smart and so happy and silly and curious and just little, I mean, they just, I don't know. They have changed everything in the best possible way. They just make life fun and right and good, They're so funny.
Well, we don't live in the same city anymore. So I love your stories on Instagram, your posts, everything. So I feel like I get to see them daily. I get to see them every single day. So.
I put up my favorite recent post. You might know what I'm going to say, but we were laying on our driveway and the weather in St. Louis is really hit or miss. Some days it's cloudy and rainy all day and other days it's beautiful. Today it's gorgeous. Well, this was one of those beautiful days and we were laying on the pavement in our driveway and unsolicited, Blake is laying on top, on my chest, and he just looks up in the sky and he's like, "It's a miracle. It's a miracle." And then Wyatt says, "This is so nice. This is so nice." And it's those things. They amaze me. They amaze me. They amaze Joe, our entire family, every single day with something they say or do. It blows my mind. And I'm so glad that they are the age that they are right now. I think for a lot of reasons. I mean, it is tiring, yes, but I can't imagine homeschooling right now. I feel so, I have so much respect for teachers because I talk to all my girlfriends that have kids that are a bit older and they're in this homeschool thing. And I mean, I would not be able to do it. I mean, first of all, I thank God for Google because there's no way I could do any math. There's no way. But, our kids at this age, at 2 years old, they're so innocent and they don't understand what's going on in the world. They don't know, they just think that this is the greatest thing in the world because they get to see mommy and daddy every second of every day. And by the way, we do too. We think it's the greatest thing in the world too. But I don't know. It's just I'm so they're just really fun right now. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about them.
I know. Okay, so I know we need to wrap things up. We could talk and talk and talk and talk, but I respect your time. And I just a couple final questions. Okay, so what is your favorite NFL stadium?
I really like the Vikings' new stadium. It's like nothing I've ever seen. It is state of the art. I mean, granted, it is, every brand new stadium is beautiful, but that stadium, there's something about the way that the architect did such a brilliant job with it. It is laid out so perfectly. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
US Bank Stadium that's my favorite. Right now, it could change.
Right now, it could be. Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I'm sure hoping that I get to see you in the fall. One final question before we go. What are you most looking forward to after we get out of quarantine? What's the first thing you want to do?
Go out to dinner somewhere with my husband. I would die to go out to dinner. It's just like being social again. I would love to say I'd love to go take a soul cycle class, but we don't have that here in St. Louis. I just want to go out to dinner. What do you want to do?
I want to go to the beach. I just want to go to the beach and take the dogs, we have our favorite spot, surf and sand, just, spend the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Get a steak. It's a Salami Steakhouse, which you recommended. And that's it.
Oh, that's the best. I know. Yeah. If we had any beaches near us, that's where I'd want to go, or to the mountains. If I was in Colorado, I'd want to go to the mountains, go up to, I just think that, you take for granted just how great it is to be able to get out and be social and see people and talk and give people a hug and shake their hand. And, hopefully it's not going to get that extreme where we're not going to be exchanging those kind of pleasantries, like hugging someone and shaking someone's hand. But it's pretty crazy. This has been, this is crazy, but it's also been good too. It's all, there are good things that have come of it too. This time that you get is good. It really is.
Slow down, enjoy life, enjoy your boys, be still. Cook at home. Oh my gosh. I'm sick of cooking now. But yeah.
For real. I love to cook, but I'm done. I'm over it. It's just, because we have, it's just, I'm with you. I want to go out to dinner, people.
Out to dinner. Come to Vegas.
I know. I will.
Okay.
It's a date.
It's a date. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on my little Facebook Live show. I appreciate it. And I know everybody that doesn't know you has enjoyed getting to know you. And follow Michelle on Instagram at Michelle Beisner. What are your other Facebook, Michelle Beisner? Still?
Yeah, it's all. I think it's all. I think you can find it under Michelle Beisner or Michelle Beisner Buck. I think they both come up, so it doesn't matter. And you need your own show, so let's work on that. Yes, let's work on your own show. All right, good. Thanks, everybody. I love you too, Michelle. Thank you so much. Everybody have a happy Friday and a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Be well.